Chuck has stolen the sign from that fan.
Hey, we're going to rise up in Houston. We're going to rise up with them big women in San Antonio. And we're going to rise up with Galveston. And we're coming back to Dallas for Game 6. Mavs in 7. Me and my man believe this.
Chuck, you said it was over.
They got to show it. Look at your boy.
That's my guy right there. Look at all these damn signs he got, man. The shirt and everything.
What'd you think of that new sign?
Boutique, dude, this is his sign. Look at the shirt, dude. He had time. Look at this here.
We got this.
This dude, this is my new favorite fan right here. This man has got some issues, y'all. My man said Mavs in 7. Unbelievable.
All right, we got other fans losing it now. Let's go to the highlight from Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Kristaps Porzingis listed as available but did not play. Luka stepping up for Dallas. 25 points in the first half. Came out aggressive. And Smitty in attack mode, not settling for jumpers.
It was. They're playing much quicker. Even though pushing the basketball, throwing it in.
Defense.
Defensively, got to stop. We got to show this before the next game. Him getting stops, and then Drew Holiday.
Get this little man off of me. Get off me, little man. Steve, you got a great point, man. We've been saying all series and all year, they would be even better if they played fast. Get off me, little man.
Celtics struggling to score, not an issue for the Dallas Mavericks. In the first quarter, they had 34, their biggest scoring quarter of these NBA Finals.
And they weren't settling. A lot of baskets in the paint, attack mode early for the Mavs.
On the other end, the defense stifling, only allowing 35 points from the Boston Celtics in the first half.
Well,
it was a different mentality.
Shots this game. They only had 5 for the first 4. 3.
Yeah, but this, man, I'll tell you.
He pushed it. Look.
What a pass. What a catch, too.
They only had 2 lobs in the finals before that one after having 54 throughout the playoffs before.
This is just a settle right here, man. They were so passive offensively.
Daniel Gafford with the effort going for the loose ball. That's a 4th foul on Jason Tatum with 10 minutes left in the third.
From some of the other guys.
Well, they played desperate out here. And obviously, as Chuck said, no force, no competitiveness whatsoever from Boston.
Oh, man, that was embarrassing. And I'm so glad Steve pointed out before the game. He said, I'll know early about the Celtics. They come out and just jack up threes, and they did.
A dime from Kyrie to Derek Lively. Now, you said before the game, Chuck, hey, we hadn't had a reason to talk about other Mavs in this series.
But they hadn't done anything.
7 offensive rebounds for Lively, 11 and 13, second double-double in a row.
Well, you know, we talked about downstairs, me and Grant, like, yo, man, they got point guards guarding power forwards, just throwing the ball in the post. Because there's mismatches all over the place. But a lot of credit goes out to Luke and Kyrie. But Hardaway Jr., Lively, Exum, and Gafford and Lively, man, they role players, the number one thing they have to do is play with energy. But the only problem with that, sometimes when they don't get shots, they don't play with energy. They were getting their lobs, they were getting their dunks, their energy level upped. The only problem is you got to write this. If I'm Coach Mazzulla, I'm not looking at any game tape. We didn't do anything. We don't deserve it. There was more. We give Dallas credit, but what we did tonight was unacceptable as a Boston Celtics. We just thought they were going to pack it in. But can the role players take that energy level on the road? That's going to be key. But to piggyback on Smitty again, the Mavs got to play faster. First time they scored over 100 points. They're going to have to score at least 100 to win a game in Boston, at least 100.
Yeah, and also defensively, Grant, really setting the tone, allowing just 84 points, and again, just 35 points in that first half.
Well, setting the tone in that first half, the first quarter defensively, and to Chuck's point, playing with energy, playing with effort. Obviously right here, attack mode, and making this Boston team settle from the perimeter, trying to make contested shots. Nothing in the paint, no blow-bys, no one playing downhill, everything contested, nothing easy for Boston. And as Chuck said and Steve, Boston was settling. They weren't playing aggressive. Dallas was. The help was there on dribble drive, penetration, turnovers, sloppy play, active hands, then getting out in transition off those turnovers. And then sometimes things get messed up. You scramble mode. It's just effort, activity. Right now, as I said, Dallas, they were more desperate. They understood that if you don't win, you go home right here. And they're forcing the turnovers, leading to opportunities in transition for easy baskets, open three opportunities, unselfish play. It was a combination of two things. It was the effort, the energy, the desperation of Dallas, finally playing with some force, getting those 50-50 balls, which they weren't winning, just playing hard, playing with more desire. And then it was on the opposite. It was Boston just satisfied with getting one win in Dallas.
You know, it reminds me of that Minnesota game. Remember when Minnesota played Dallas and they were like, we didn't get swept? Then they went back home and just like, no, we didn't get swept. Then they just got beat by 100. This, to me, tonight, the Celtics, like, we got the series. We're going to win it one day or another. But tonight, that was disappointing to me because, man, they didn't even compete tonight. That was disappointing to watch.
Well, it was disappointing, too, because I think for the most part, throughout this playoffs and throughout these postseason, the Celtics have had championship effort. Like, they've come out and dominated. They've taken care of business. And the one time where they have a chance to win the championship, it's not that they lost because they just got outplayed.
Yes, effort.
Yeah,
Not just the effort and energy.
Effort.
I mean, that's
they didn't
where
bring it.
I would have thought just come out. You can miss shots, Chuck. We all know that. But
yes.
I just thought it was just a little bit of a just walking around, blase, and then you can see next thing you know, the Mavericks caught a rhythm. I give Dante Exum a lot of credit the way he came out and played. This is going to have to be in Boston. Yes, you're home, but boy, the pressure going to be on the Celtics. If halftime this thing is close, if it's halftime this thing is close, we might be coming back to Dallas.
One thing that's interesting now, the looming question is the Porzingis thing. That is the looming thing.
You said 5. You playing right. I'm going 6.
But the question the 6 will be down here.
Yes.
They're not going to win Game 6 down here. If they lose next game, they're not going to win. It's going to be
next, it'll be a 7-game.
It's going to be a 7-game series. But my question is, it's really tricky with the Porzingis thing.
So Chuck, we shall see.
No, because if you play him, and because he's not going to be 100%, and then they don't win that game, and he further hurts himself, this thing going to get very interesting.
Well, I agree. And look, one thing, if you're Dallas right now, I know they were down 3-0, they win tonight, but they feel like they let it slip away in Game 2 in Boston. And they feel like they found something at the end of Game 3. They came back down 20, got close. They didn't win it down the stretch. But just the confidence now, coming out blowing. Like, it's just –
I know it's easy, Grant, but Kyrie said it. We got to play with energy and effort, which is obviously. The next thing you know, he said, hey, we got to get a little nasty. Our other guys got to get a little nasty. And then also they can take this home because the pressure's on Boston right now.
No question.
The pressure's on Boston.
So here's the question for you guys. When I look at all the stats and try to figure out Kristaps Porzingis' impact, first 2 games, points in the paint. Yes, Dallas had an advantage. It was +8. But in this game tonight, +34. In Game 3 without Kristaps, +16. It seems as if Dallas has a game plan and they're executing it better without Kristaps on the floor.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
Well, I say this is on Boston. Points in the paint, you can't get points in the paint to be Boston if you're shooting threes.
That's right.
When you start off shooting so many threes, you're definitely not going to win. And the Dallas Mavericks were going downhill, flying around.
Yes.
The Boston Celtics were shooting lazy step-back threes. You won't win the points in the paint shooting that way.
Yeah, so you know, that's one of those stats that's really irrelevant, to be honest with you, because of what Steve said. The Celtics probably most of the time are not going to win the paint battle. The one thing that Kristaps gives them is a post-up and a rim protection. So he he helps them on the offense in the paint and takes away in the paint. So his numbers are really, really important. But, man, it's going to come down to effort and desire. And let me tell you something. The Celtics, the Mavs got to play with desperation.
Well, they playing with pace now.
Yes, if they play with pace and desperation, them 2 guys, man, they're tough to handle. And if they get anything, I know a lot of people are going to give Kyrie and Luka credit, which they deserve. But, man, if them role players take that energy up to Boston, it could be because people going to overreact. It ain't really been a lot of blowouts of these games.
Nope.
I mean, so other than game one, the game's been close. And like I say, we always wondered if was the game close with Kyrie and Luka, because they're two of the best closers we've ever had. But like I say, man, I'm glad the Mavs didn't get swept. I'd actually like to see the Mavs win next game, because I want to see the champion put under stress. The Celtics have not been put under stress. Now they're under stress.
Yeah, to your point, this is their first road loss of this postseason. They had won 10 consecutive games. Here you go, Chuck. They know that you're changing your mind.
I didn't change my mind.
7. That's what that sign says.
I'm just telling that dude
the
had
internet
that.
says you have.
That guy had that sign last game too. Don't forget that, y'all.